Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Web Gauntlet. I'm Shawn S. Porter. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right off the bat, we're starting great with some clear. The zoom is not being seen. We'll go like this. I'm going to do a quick little repair here. There he is. Boom. Take the time to set it all up before, but then you got to do it live every time. That's okay.
Right?
We're used to that around here.
That's Zoom for you.
Yeah.
It's not like it's meant for this, but we use it like that anyway.
Exactly, exactly. For a long time, you and I. So we, rehashing old things for new viewers. Hopefully, we're going to get lots of new people checking out the stream with this new web gauntlet idea I have going. And so let's just start with a rundown of where we
Sure.
all started, John. I think first, let's tell me a little bit about yourself, what you're doing right now, what you're working on.
Cool. Yeah. John Spalding, live streamer since 2016. Um, I work for G1NBC, which is a company out of Livingston, Michigan. G1NBC's mission is to create your local hometown broadcasts in every county in the United States. So I do live streaming for them. I also run and do a lot of posting on their social media platforms, and I do a lot of onboarding, getting people. And when I say people, it could be station affiliates, channel owners, content providers, to know about G1NBC.com and get them a content provider kind of memorandum of understanding on how we work together. So those are the main things that I do for G1NBC right now. I'm really focused on Cuyahoga County because that's where I live, and so we have a good team of streamers and posters and content providers that are already on board, um, and we're working on getting a good group that's coming on board soon. So we'll have more from them coming up, definitely. As far as two shows that I do two live. I do two shows currently that I produce. One is called Recovery Unplugged Live, and that is with a filmmaker, creator, director, Amy McCorkle. And Amy McCorkle has a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. And so we do a show every Monday where we bring in creatives and talk about how they use the creative process, whether it is writing, filmmaking, editing, streaming, singing, to deal with, talk about, or be better advocates for people that have mental health issues. And then the other one I do is a Cleveland Browns show, which it's a Wednesday night quarterbacks. We go Wednesdays during the NFL year, and we're doing a 2 or 3 episode kickoff to the NFL season, covering what the Browns are going to do in the draft and what they're going to do for free agency, what they did for free agency, and what they're going to do for the draft. And then we tailgate, so we're all season ticket holders, the people who produce the show, and so we do interviews in the Muni lot, the main tailgating lot for the Browns. So the show is we come in, we broadcast a couple interviews, and then we come in live via Zoom. It's open; any Browns fan can join us, and we just bullshit about the Browns. Recovery Unplugged Live is also in its 5th season. We've done like hundreds of episodes. We actually won. Amy submitted them to a bunch of festivals last year. We won 4 awards for our shows, just based on the guests that we have and things like that.
Boom. Thanks for popping in to check it out, Archaic. Hope all is well. All right, so here we are, and then the zoom. It's so crazy that we went through and corrected the zoom, and it just was like, I'm not gonna work.
My face is gone now.
I know. I decided. You said. No, hold on one sec. Um, window cap. Let's see if I can bring you in here for this next, because it'll be nice to have it big for everyone. There we go. All right, John. So we already talked football a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
you're no stranger to injuries. Football's brutal, and
Yes.
so I don't know. I assume you didn't have a chance to take a look at the details of this, but this weekend was a huge UFC fight, and actually, damn, all right, hold on, and 3 titles on the line. First first match back or first card back to full capacity crowd in Florida, of course. And yeah, of course, but it was great as far as like the card went in action. It was really, really cool. Let's see here. I've been better. I've been dealing with. Yeah, surprised you didn't use studio mode for fading his camera in after the edit. Archaic, you know. I like that. I like that. Holding me true. You're right. I should have. My production is all over the place.
I need this guy to watch my streams and tell me what to do.
Yeah, he's a local friend. We've worked together on some at Studio 27, something like that. Yeah.
Right on.
Social 27. I said Studio 27. That's funny. All right. So, story sidebar. We're all over the place today. Arcade.
Am I gonna get to see some of these knockouts?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I'm doing here is going to here, graying that out. Again, this was all macro keyed up before Archaic, and then I got the dreaded cannot find local.ini. Now I can't do any macros, but show goes on. I'll figure it out next week. Until then, 1, 2, 3, we're on 4. Sports injuries. All right. Boom. So, first off, what happened was in one of the undercard fights, main card, Chris Weidman, middleweight, was fighting Uriah Hall. He threw a leg kick and suffered a leg break. And we have seen him before.
It's not one of those where you can see the bone, is it?
No, it was not. Thankfully, no compound fracture. But it didn't feel good, that's for damn sure. And the ironic thing is there's been like 3 in the UFC. 2 of them involved this fighter. One was against Anderson Silva. He checked Anderson Silva's leg kick, and Anderson Silva's leg broke. Anderson Silva came back to fight, but also popped. And lots of people think that's connected, that, he made a comeback, but he needed, a little help. Titanium rod in the leg. So this last Saturday night, Chris Weidman throws the leg kick, gets checked by Uriah Hall, snappity poo. Yeah. So weird karma, I guess, if you believe in that sort of thing.
I do.
Yeah. So let's check it out. NSFW, hide your eyes if you don't want to see it. But the question is, people are breaking down online which one's worse. And in any context you want. Like, which one would you
rather? Watch this.
Joe, where did it land?
Oh, my God.
Joe, where did it land? Joe, where did it land?
Right below the knee. Right below the knee. And it immediately snapped in half.
His leg.
Come on, take a look at it here. Look at this.
I'm not going to look, Joe. Just tell me.
It mirrored what happened with him and Anderson.
Oh, God.
Tell me what happened. Here it is.
To those.
Say that again?
I have visceral reactions when I see those. Like, a visceral reaction is a reaction that you can feel.
Yeah.
Like in your bones, you know what I mean? Like, I see those videos and I immediately, like, it's almost like that guy said. He's like, I'm not going to watch it. You just tell me what happens. Like, I almost can't watch it. It's tough.
It's bad. Now, later that night, he's in excruciating pain. He's fine. Got the surgery, bar through the knee. They put a metal bar through the top of the knee, down through it. Later that night, huge knockout.
It really does not get any cleaner than this.
Yeah, Coach kept yelling.
It really does not get any cleaner than this.
Yeah,
goes completely out.
Coach kept yelling.
It really
and then
does not.
He follows him up after this with a couple hammer fists and stiffs him.
Oh, what a dick.
Well, possibly.
Is that
Masvidal's known for doing it. The guy that got knocked out's known for doing this. And when they ask him, he'll say, super necessary. It was super. Did you should have done that? It was super necessary.
Is that what that dude said?
Yep. They said, afterwards? You hit him some extra there. And he said, super necessary. So
nice.
the guy that got knocked out is kind of a trumper, kind of an asshole. So to me, lots of people are a little celebratory, especially he talks shit like weirdly anti homoerotic kind of like. Oh, he's like the only way you're gonna beat me is crotch sniffing me and stuff like that. And so this guy came out, knocked him out cold.
What round was that?
This is round 2.
Okay.
After wrestled him up first round, which eventually probably led to this because Masvidal didn't want to get wrestled up anymore. The second round, he wanted to win this round, and probably thought to drop his hands just a little because he dips. If you see how much he dips here. So, question though is, which one's worse? This leg break that we just saw, or this head trauma? Now, Masvidal particularly is only second KO loss, but you see these guys start going down this road. Chuck Liddell is, because I was a huge fan while he was coming up, and he was the baddest dude. And then a couple knockouts, and all of a sudden he can't take a punch. Next thing you know, he's losing to Tito Ortiz, which just shows you how far
Liddell was kind of like the first real famous MMA fighter?
Yes. Yeah, I'd say so, especially in the States. That's kind of him and Tito, I think kind of their rivalry is when I started paying attention. I was in a band, and our guitar player would invite us over, and those were the fights when they were starting to fight. So I think, Chuck was the main dude, and Tito was right there as well.
So let me ask you a couple questions. One, the guy that just got knocked out here, what were his injuries? Did he sustain any injuries, concussion, or anything like that? Did he recover? I'm assuming he didn't.
He later. I mean,
lose his life.
No, he was fine, completely lucid. Probably hasn't. He goes out, so he does have a concussion. But I mean, he probably has a headache, but he's lucid. He's fine.
Yeah.
The question is the long term effects. The long term
effects would be the one that concerns me.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, who are we saying who is it worse for in terms of the fighters, like long term, or is it just which one looks worse?
Well, I believe it was Brendan Schaub who I saw the first bring it up, who's a personality in the area, former fighter, now comedian and YouTube guy, and he was basically saying, I think, like, which one would you rather be? Who would you rather be? The guy that gets the temporary leg break, horrible pain, or the guy that possibly down the road, gets some sort of, brain injury?
Wow.
Yeah. And that's tough because, again, to us, we can sit down and talk about it, like, logically, but the internet is, like, ripping stupid, dumb jocks thinking that, like, getting knocked out's worse than the leg break. He was basically saying, I'll take the leg break any day, man. That knockout was brutal. And even though Masvidal is only his second time getting knocked out like that, I mean, how many times can you do that without... Chuck Liddell is punch drunk. This happens to the people we love in this sport.
Since I don't fight, I'm a lover and a runner, not a fighter. I think I would take my chances because it would only happen once of getting knocked out, as opposed to having my leg broken and have to have a plate in it or a rod in it.
I've gotten head kick knocked out.
I'm gonna take.
I would not trade it in a million years for that horrible leg break. Oh my god. Because I'm not a fighter. Yeah, I maybe as a fighter, maybe Chris Weidman says, I would have rather gotten knocked out for sure. I mean, he definitely says that. So, I mean, I don't see how you could. It is the worst, but like 3 of them in a month?
I'm risking it because I don't want to get struck by lightning in the rod in my leg. I don't want to have any complications in walking. I'm going to take my chances with potential long-term health.
I mean, the airport's going to be a pain in the ass now.
Right.
You're going to have to show them your scar. They're going to be like, Chris Weidman, yeah, you're good. Like, keep going.
His recovery might be a little bit longer than a concussion, I think.
Oh, certainly. They said 8 weeks before you can walk again, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. Thanks. I don't want to go through the rehab. I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah. I mean, like, if 20 years down the road, you're like, okay, Masvidal can't remember his kid's name. Chris is totally fine. Then you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. That's a tough decision to make. But, yeah, certainly I think Masvidal's healthy enough, hasn't had the history. So maybe, it's definitely you take that knockout and you heal the brain up. But yeah, it's too brutal. That's like you're gonna have not CT, but you're gonna have like PST from that leg injury. I don't know how you can't go back into a fight and not have
Post-traumatic
that.
stress.
Yeah.
PTSD.
No, PST. Yeah, PTSD. Thank you. Because
No, yeah, that's fine.
as a fighter, that's. I mean, Anderson Silva did it, but he again was never the same. It's a tough thing to recover from mentally. You don't throw kicks.
Which one of the people that knocked out is better?
Say that again.
Who's better? The person who is more of a seasoned fighter? The person who's broke their leg or the person who got knocked out?
Ooh. Chad, they're pretty.
Whose career is? The guy that got his leg broke? Is he really good?
They're both really good, but I think Chris. I guess you'd say Weidman's better because he's a former middleweight champ. He beat Anderson Silva for the first time by knockout.
It's a bigger loss.
It is for a way, especially since I think he was on thinner ice career-wise, more losses, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas Masvidal's never been a belt holder. He's made his name fighting in the streets of Florida, but with Kimbo. Like, you can go on YouTube and find him. He lied about his age to get in these street fights.
Kimbo never really panned out, huh?
It didn't in the way everyone thought, but I think it did in some ways. I mean, it did make some promoters some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And, and so
and
for what it is.
He had his 15 minutes. I mean, that's
exactly.
Cool. He got some sweet street fighting videos, got a nice size.
And he's in those. Masvidal's is in those. So
I still have a video of that knockout. That was the guy with the purple hair that knocked out Kimbo Slice. It was on Strike Force.
It's his name is Pazalewski, something like that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I remember. It's Seth Pazalewski.
Good memory.
Like yeah. Well, I remember because that was a huge hyped up fight, and Seth was a karate guy, and I remember the people in the know were like, "Oh, they put him against the Seth guy as like a wolf, but this dude's can scrap." And sure enough, catches him with like a counter right hand. I remember that because it was like, oh,
yep. And he was just as shocked as everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Running around the ring, he's like, "Oh, it worked! I kicked his ass."
Yeah, our coach always used to say, "Hey, if you win, act like you knew it was going to happen." He did not like people going, "Oh," it was funny. But yeah, so I agree. You got to take the knockout and heal up. He's going to be able to fight in like a couple months. Chris is out for a long time, and then when he comes back and starts being able to do, his therapy, physical therapy, I mean, still he's got another few weeks, I think, until he's ready to fight, if he can ever fight again. So
right on.
Yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much it, and then we go to free time.
I like seeing it. It was cool bringing up the videos and being able to see them and share them, so the audience can see them too. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
If I try to do that, if I try to bring up a web source or anything, I have to have someone else do it.
Well, what I have been doing for I was doing some dry runs, and so what I will do in the future is record this in OBS so I can just play it as a file. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been doing, but since this was all kind of late.
Idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it takes a couple extra minutes to prep, but not having to deal with clicking in the middle and worried about ads and that kind of shit, like stuff used to happen in like the steamy piles and weird news. I'm like, this is so much more kind of streamlined. So I
forgot about weird news. That was fun as hell too. You got some cool stories for that.
I did, man. Again, it was like, maybe because I'm a creator, I need pats on the back, man. I need someone. You can't expect it, but goddamn, do I need it to know? Because I have all these ideas.
The internet is so harsh because they'll just be like, they say whatever they want, or they just don't respond
or don't say anything.
Interact. Yeah.
And that's about everyone. I mean, job offers. I had a huge job opportunity to host some gaming shows for Xbox, and this was like $100K a year job. I was stoked. I got an interview, didn't get the job. Asked multiple people in the interview and the HR, like, I'd love to just get 2 minutes or just a text explanation, email. What is it that you were looking for that I didn't have? I want to work on myself. I cannot get an answer from these people. I'm like, God, don't you appreciate someone that's like, wants to better themselves and wants to, give you what they want? But damn, I just cannot get an answer from people sometimes, and it gets frustrating.
They can't. A lot of times, companies can't.
Yeah.
Because anything that they say can be used as a lawsuit. So you can.
And how do you mean?
Because the
I'm going to say they discriminated against me or some shit. Oh, that's sad.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's why HR offices. I mean, they can't. And I just know that from being a manager for several nonprofits. You learn a lot, about what you can and can't say when you let someone go.
That's cool. All right, man. Well, yeah, that's it. Have you heard of the Vera Project?
No.
Okay, I'm not sure how. I guess it's just a local music nonprofit. And they're doing something with a couple fellows who are involved in the local arts but haven't streamed before. So I'm part of Northwest Art Streaming Hub, or NASH, and we're teaming up with the Vera Project, local nonprofit music thing, to teach these kids and walk them through and help them out with these first streams. So they're doing a whole show. Each of them get to do their own show, and then we do a showcase of all their skills at the end. And I'm part of that, helping them teach. I'm going to be on the back end live, walking them through. So I just wanted to mention that live to everyone to look forward to that and check out the Vera Project, especially if you're in the Seattle area. And thank you again, John, for joining me.
Sure, and I would use eBuzz if I were you to promote your show, and then to also put up the VOD versions. The more you stay active in the Hive community, the more followers you get and upvotes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's it. Other than that, thanks for having me on.
Perfect.
Cool to be on the Web Gauntlet. Thanks for letting me restream it.
Hell yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll do this again
Do you want 30% of my upvotes?
Say again?
Do you want 30% of my upvotes sent to your Shawn S. Porter account?
Sure, I'll
on
take
Hive
it.
Or what?
Hive.
Is that a good percentage?
I love it. Fine.
Okay, so if I get 25 cents, you're going to get 30% of that.
Rolling in it. Okay.
All right, man. Cool show.
Yeah, man. We'll have you on again soon.
I look forward to seeing a couple other ones. Yeah, let me know if you're going to be having any of the other Steaming Pile cohorts. I'll be sure to tune in and comment and stuff on YouTube.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get together and schedule some kind of panel thing, some kind of group meetup too. So.
Okay.
Cool. All right, man. Take care,
All right, brother.
and see you later.
See ya.